Welcome to the Kill Shot MMA podcast for UFC Fight Night Garcia versus Onama. And right off the bat, if you're someone hating on this card, honestly, go fuck yourself. I went through this card pretty in depth the last few days, obviously getting ready for this. Is the name value at the top not phenomenal? Sure. Do we have good fights in here that I think are going to be entertaining? I think we do. We see way more finishes than we got at 321. Not that that's a whole lot to talk about here. Garcia is super exciting overall. This is a solid card here. And we get to talk DraftKings. We'll make some fight picks here. We'll do all the good stuff. Do me a favor first. Hit the like button. Share with your friends. Back are the two of us, Sniper and Monk. Monk and Sniper, both back-to-back trips. We did solo shows for DFS Army back together. Monk, been a minute. How you been?
And it feels so good, whatever that song is. No, it's great. I'm looking forward to this one. Like you said, at first I was kind of like, what the hell is this card? But like you said, I kind of got into it and it's looking pretty good. Plus there's a pattern here, guys. Every time the consensus says it's a garbage card, it always is exciting. So that's what we're looking forward to here. Plus we only have about a month and a half's worth of fights left before we take a month break. So we got to enjoy
a long break.
Yeah.
The holiday break is long this year. Look, and like I said, name value, I get it. Your names are lacking, but man, you watch regional MMA, it's fun. And this has got a couple pangs of regional on it, I will admit. So plenty of good stuff to talk about, though. You want to join DFS Army, get more breakdowns, all the good stuff, optimizer, projections. Just link in the description. Make sure you join up. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Sniper Wins, if you're not already, because I'll do a cash game builder show on Thursday. The GPP shows become pretty popular on Fridays. Been a couple weeks without the optimal, but we went on a crazy hot streak. And really, we haven't done terrible, just still searching for the optimal. And that's okay. GPP is going to have those kind of swings. But I think we have to do some pretty good strategy conversation. Last week, Mizuki got me. I wasn't going to win the GPP last week with basically any Mizuki. So kind of it is what it is. But we'll talk strategy, all that good stuff. Before we get into the fights for this card, last piece of the intro. There are 13 fights on this card. We're going to cover 12 of them because we don't have DraftKings salary for Nascimento and Durden. That is a last-minute ad. So just, for the members of DFS Army, that's the only place I'm going to do a full fight breakdown for that fight. We'll cover it briefly in the cash game show and the GPP builder show, but more so from strategy, fight breakdown stuff we're going to leave here. So again, another reason to join up over there. That being said, Monk, are you ready to go?
Absolutely. Let's go. Let's do it.
First fight of the night, we're going to talk Talita Alencar and Ariane Carnelossi. Alencar is the favorite at -220. Carnelossi is +185. Your fight goes to decision prop -200. Your DraftKings salaries. We're looking at, believe it was Alencar is 9,000, Carnelossi is at 7,200. And while at this prices and goes to decision prop, you would think I'm going to be all about Ariane Carnelossi in cash. I am not, because there's some better cash punts. And Ariane Carnelossi's takedown defense number is the lowest I've ever seen for somebody with 5 UFC fights. 14% takedown defense. That's concerning. Oh, good thing she's not facing a grappler. Oh, shit.
Yeah, we can't even round it up to 15.
Carnelossi's got 10 takedowns in her 4 UFC fights. Like, this just stylistically is not a good matchup for Carnelossi. She's going to be the bigger, stronger fighter, but I think she gets tired. Alencar's clearly the better grappling. I don't think Carnelossi's got the power to put her away and make her really pay for it. But I think Alencar's got some sneaky upside. I don't think she's going to Jailton Almeida lay on Carnelossi and not do anything. She may not break the slate, and there's a lot of really good fights to target. I would think Alencar, though, is not going to get enough love as she should. And Carnelossi, I just don't think it's a good matchup for her. So give me clearly not. Give me Alencar, a little rusty there, and interested in all formats. Monk, how about for you?
You just play both sides and say, give me Alan Carnelossi. There you go.
No, thank you.
We got it figured out.
I mean, I know she's on roids, but Let's not get into all kind of woke trouble and call her Alan Carnelossi.
There you go. Well, I mean, Talita, you pick Alan. You said Carnelossi, but you just picked Talita Alan Carnelossi. That's what I meant. No, we're no talk of that stuff here. I was just trying to do a little portmanteau. It's my favorite thing to do.
Let's try and get canceled. Let's go. I mean,
yeah,
Geek's not here, so let's get canceled.
Blending the names. That's what I'm going to say on the news and be crying. I was just blending the names. I didn't mean anything by it. But yeah, I agree. Carnelossi looks terrible, pretty much all around. She had one good. I mean, she hasn't attempted any takedowns. One against Loopy, like why? One against Angela Hill, okay, but then 5 of 7 out of nowhere against Estela Nunes, who is not very good. She still got outstruck pretty bad in that one. In fact, outside of the Na Liang fight, I believe she's been outstruck significantly in every single fight. And even the great Liang Na landed 3 or 4 takedowns on her, controlled her for almost 3 minutes. So it's not going to go well for her. I mean, people are saying, oh, she looked, she got the win over Piera Rodriguez. She was getting fucking dog walked until she ate a headbutt and had the fight stopped for a DQ. So really, she should only have 2 wins against 2 of the probably 2 most terrible strawweights in the division. So I'm not really looking forward to this one. From her perspective, like you said, I think it's line to go to decision. Minus 200. So usually, like you said, you'd see some play on Carnelossi and cash, but yeah, not this week. Alencar should be able to take her down. Yeah, she went 1 of 9 against Rayani. Yeah, she went 1 of 10 against Luciano. But then Demo, who gets taken down, much like Carnelossi does, 4 of 5. Almost 13 minutes of control time, and actually landed some ground strikes in that one compared to other ones. So yeah, I like this one a lot. I don't think she's going to headbutt Carnelossi. So we should see at least a decision win, hopefully with a lot of takedowns, control, and some ground strikes to pay off that $9K salary. It's going to be tough, but I think we could possibly see it, even though she averages 80 points per win. That's because she scored 56 once and 103 the other time. So we can't really go off of that. Like her a lot for DraftKings this week, GPPs, and I think she's going to get the win. Carnelossi's defense is terrible.
Yeah, other cards I would sneaky love her, but there's too many high upside GPP fights for me to go that far this week, but still a good play. All right, let's go talk about Phil Rowe and Seok Hyun Ko. Phil Rowe is the dog. He's plus 150. The comeback on Ko is minus 175-ish. FanDuel's got him all the way up at minus 200. That's a bit wide for my liking. More on that in 1 second. Fight goes to decision, 50-50, minus 115 a piece. Your DraftKings salaries get a discount here on Phil Rowe, as he is priced at 7,400. Ko is 8,800 as the favorite. Going to move on over here to UFC stats, and this is why. Ko is 1-0 in the UFC. He beat Oban Elliott, took him down 6 times. Surprising win, good win. Other than that, went to decision on Contender Series against Cavalcanti. Phil Rowe, I think, is being undervalued. I think people forget. That's why I wanted to bring this up. Yes, he is 5-3 in the UFC, solid record. Are any of the wins going to jump out at you? Honestly, Phil Rowe, not Phil Rowe. Phil Rowe against Nico Price, this is a good win. Angelusa, okay. But Jake Matthews is not a bad loss. Went to decision. Neil Magny, split decision. Boring fight, but it is what it is. And Gabe Green, this became a firefight, and he got knocked down twice. Not a great loss there. But that being said, his resume is better than anything I've seen from Seok Hyun Ko. And I think that if Ko can't get takedowns, he's going to struggle a little bit here. Yeah, he got Oban Elliott down, and Phil Rowe, people are going to point to this 56% takedown defense number, and that is why that I believe Ko is the favorite. That being said, Rowe is a long guy. He's hard to deal with, and this is a step up for Seok Hyun Ko. I'm not totally a believer in Ko based on what he's done and what I've seen on tape. I think if Rowe can keep this at range and not get taken down, I think it's a problem. And I just don't know if Ko is as physical as some of the guys who had that success against him. Now, I understand why he's the dog, because it could happen. I think the line is too wide. I'm going to side with Phil Rowe here, 50-50 to go to decision. I think he's live in all formats. I won't full fade on DraftKings because if he wins, it's probably takedowns and scores decent. But again, there's just other spots where I am going to put a lot of chips in the middle of the table, especially in the mid-range this week, hint, hint. So for me, I like Phil Rowe, his experience, and that step up against this prospect I'm not totally sold on yet. Monk, how about for you?
That makes a lot of sense. It seems like a 50-50-ish fight on paper for me personally. Like I'll have plenty of both sides in there because Phil Rowe is so cheap. He also doesn't score terribly. He ended up with 92 points, even though he got fucking dog walked by Angelusa for 2.5 rounds. But the difference is Seok Hyun does not have 55 pounds of extra muscle that's going to slow him down in the third round. So if the same thing happens that happened in the last fight, I mean, it's going to take a little bit more of a miracle for Phil Rowe to get this one done. He was on his way to losing at least 2 rounds. I don't remember if he won one of them, but yeah, it was not a very close fight. I mean, he was taken down. He was just grounded. He kept getting up, so that's good. And he's much, much bigger, like you said, than Ko is here. But he was taken down 3 of 7, controlled for 6 minutes, and still had almost 5 strikes a minute landed on him. And that's his issue. Like, he lands strikes at about 4 a minute. He'll hit 5 or 6 every now and then, but every single defensive category is terrible. Like he gets out struck. He gets out taken down 3-1. Basically, he controls only 30% of the control time. So he's going to have to use that length, that extremely long reach here, which is almost 10 inches at this point, against Ko, to his advantage. If Ko gets on the inside, and takes him down, then that completely cancels out any kind of advantage Rowe would have. So I like Rowe's experience. I think he can win this for sure. Absolutely, he can win this. But if he starts getting taken down, it's not going to look great. He could drop around, maybe even 2, and that's not going to look great for him. The other thing is, lastly, round 2, he lands 5.1 strikes a minute, same as round 3. But in round 1, he's an extremely slow starter, like Cheeto Vera levels, 2.3 strikes a minute, no takedowns, less than 30 seconds of control time. So if Ko is smart, he's going to jump on that round 1 pretty quickly and try to get as much done as possible, because Phil Rowe always turns it around. Round 2, he'll start to land more strikes. He'll start to stuff some takedowns a little bit. Even though he does allow a couple, more here and there in 2 and 3, the numbers aren't crazy. He's not even allowing half of a takedown per round. So Ko is going to have his work cut out for him. I think I haven't posted my notes yet, but I've written like 9 of them. I think I picked Ko, but it's super close. And even still, I'll play some of them in DraftKings for that potential wrestling upside. But like you said, he's so unproven. And Phil Rowe, yeah, he only has 8 fights in the UFC, and he hasn't looked great in all of them. His losses are good, like you said. His wins are not good, like you said. So he's somewhere in the middle there. I think Ko is somebody he can beat, and at 7,400, I'm definitely taking a flyer there. But he's got to do something in that first round and not get taken down. And not wait till the third round to really, start to pour it on his opponent. So give me Ko, but just barely, but I'll have both rostered in my lineups for sure.
Not get taken down. It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
See if it pays off. Yeah.
Let's go Montserrat, Ruiz, and Alice Ardelean. Ruiz is the big dog, plus 300. Ardelean, minus 400. Yeah. That's a problem. Fight goes to decision, minus 250. Expected to see all 3 rounds here, similar to the first fight of the night. But Alice Ardelean is the most expensive fighter on the card at 9,300. Montserrat Ruiz is 6,900. Alice Ardelean, guys, is the most expensive fighter on the card.
She was just the cheapest fighter on the card a couple fights ago.
she's 1 and 2 in the UFC.
Oh shit!
She's a Romanian ass model.
That's true.
I mean, more power to her. I'm not paying 9,300 for her on DraftKings. And I get it. Montserrat Ruiz is 1 and 3 in the UFC. Has not won a UFC fight since 2021 against Cheyenne Blissmas. Problems. I get it. Totally get it. For the most part, and I know I've said this a bunch, in the first 3 fights, there are a lot, and I promise there is in the intro. Like the whole main card, I want to be overweight on. So that means the prelims, I guess I'm going to be underweight in a bunch of these. And this is that spot, one of the many spots. So I'm going to go ahead and take Alice Ardelean because I do think she's the better fighter and probably can mix in a takedown, maybe some control time, better, like more volume striking, better's a loose term here. Regardless, I don't want to play much of her in DraftKings. And honestly, Montserrat Ruiz is live. She's fine. 6,900, cool, and is a lock in your cash game lineups. This is the first fighter in your cash game lineups. She's cheap. I think she's a live dog for the price, and you're expected to get 3 rounds of action. Check, check, check. Montserrat Ruiz goes in cash games. I'm still going to pick Ardelean, though. Monk, how about for you?
Yeah, I'm going to pick Ardelean as well. I don't like the salary, just like you said. Montserrat is probably the smallest fighter on the entire roster. 5 foot tall, 61-inch reach. It might not be the shortest reach. I think Demo or somebody else might have her by a half inch or so, but nobody else is 5 feet tall. Said. Yeah, there you go. Nobody else is 5 feet tall. Her striking offense is abysmal, 0.79 per minute. She does land takedowns, or at least she did in that Vlismas fight, and that was the only one. I guess, no, she landed one against Amarim, which why don't know, but yeah, she dominated Vlismas for the most part, who obviously not in the UFC anymore. That said, she landed 15 strikes in 15 minutes, and it was all or significant strikes, I should say, takedowns and then control time with she does a little ground and pound, well, her version of it anyways. It still scores points. She ended up with 102, but in her losses, man, it's 3 straight finishes, second round, third round, and first round. She's averaging like 6 points per loss. That's it. And even in that third round win, or third round loss, excuse me, to Amarim, she only got to 16. Ardelean has volume. She's landed at 6.7 strikes a minute. She's not fighting anybody good, right? So that could mean something, but she is landing volume. She does have some takedowns, and the control time is 91% for her so far. So yeah, 2 of 4 takedowns against Bannon, 1 of 1 against Ariane. So the strength of schedule is obviously better for Conejo, fighting Amarim and Lemos. The other two don't really matter to me. I don't know, man. It's the scoring losses that is making me tough to want to put her in my cash lineup. I get the sentiment, and I totally understand why, because it is slated to go to decision. But that said, man, Montserrat's been finished in 3 straight fights, and Ardelean has 8 finish wins out of her 10 total wins. So this could be a little sneaky. Like, honestly, it could be a little bit of a sneaky finish for either side. So I'll have a little bit of Ruiz. I don't know if I can. I'd like to get Ruiz in my cash lineup. I don't know if I can play either one, to be completely honest. But I'll just probably throw them both in some GPPs, and we'll see how the lineup shake out. Nobody is too expensive. Like you said, Ardelean's 9,300, most expensive on the card. I doubt Nascimento. Is that the fight we're missing? I doubt that's the one that's going to be. I don't think the odds are such that he's going to be over Ardelean. I haven't looked at him, but I assume he's not a minus 400 favorite. Although he
like minus 250
against Durden. Yeah, I was going to say
it's like minus 250.
It might be close against a guy that loves to get subbed. But yeah, I'm the stat guy. No offensive stats for Ruiz. If you take out that Vlismas fight, it's pretty much all zeros. Like, she's done nothing.
But then again, if you take out the Vlismas fight, the losses are Eduardo Mora, Jacqueline Amarie,
right, and
Amanda Lemos, for fuck's sake.
But that said, that's been 21, almost 22 minutes of fighting, and she has landed 14 strikes in those 3 fights. It has not looked great. And in Lemos, she didn't get taken down. That was only a 35-second fight. She didn't land a strike.
She's going from one of the scariest fighters in the roster 4 years ago to an ass model. Like, I'm probably going to lose, but it's less scary.
Yeah, but the ass model is 1 and 2. That said, on paper, she should. I mean, statistically, if you take what she did against what her opponent did, she barely beat Shauna Bannon, and she beat Melissa Martinez by a little bit more than that. So yeah, those are 2 losses, very close. But she did what she was supposed to do in that. It was 4 strikes in that one, 6 strikes a minute in Martinez, and over 10.5 against Dos Santos. So she's going to throw strikes.
Ass model.
I do like saying ass, but yeah, she's going to throw strikes. She's going to land takedowns, and Montserrat is tiny unless she finds some sort of crazy combination in the first round or actually lands a takedown of her own. It might be a little bit rough. So I'm picking Ardelean, but like I said, I'll probably just take my chances in GPPs with this one.
Fair enough. Ketlen, Vieira, and Norma Dumont. Vieira plus 143, Norma Dumont minus 163. Dumont favorite. Fight goes to decision minus 350. So go ahead and play the dog Vieira in cash if you want. That will cost you approximately, not approximately, it will cost you 7,600. Norma Dumont is 8,600 on DraftKings. This is my least favorite fight on the card to target. Neither one score very well. This is probably one of the higher level fights on the card for the division, honestly, but it's just not DFS scored. I'm interested in the fight as a fight fan. I think Norma Dumont is going to be able to stop the takedowns, better striker, make Vieira pay on the feet, probably win a decision. And it's really kind of is that simple, but it's hard for me to pay 8,600 for Norma Dumont when the whole, I mean, we haven't got there, but the whole mid-range is fucking stacked, man. Like, the mid-range fights are, and it really is the main, the co-main, and the fight right, and the third fight on the card from the top. Like, I'm going to have so many fights or lineups with 3 fighters left when we get there. So this is just another one to make room for those. Go ahead, be underweight. I am picking Norma Dumont, and I'm not going to overcomplicate it. I think she's just bigger, stronger, a little bit better, and will be able to neutralize Vieira's grappling. Monk, how about for you?
Yeah, I agree. Just a terrible at bat with they walked him, but terrible umpiring in the World Series right away. It's you just got to watch Shohei. This is what he's doing. Is I don't even care about baseball, and this dude is absolutely.
For those wondering, we record these on Tuesday.
Yeah, sorry, it's game.
Somebody watching this Friday going, "What the fuck is he talking about?"
It's game 3 just started after the 18 inning one last night, and wow, it's you just got to see what's going on. But like I said, I don't care about baseball. What I do care about is this card for sure. I same thing. Norma Dumont is who I'm picking to win. Ketlen does not have good offense, guy. Like, gets outstruck by almost a strike per minute. The takedowns are meh. The control time is meh. I mean, Norma lands more takedowns per 5 and has about the same control time, but she's outstriking her opponent, unlike Vieira, 3.86 to 2.1. So the offensive numbers are just much better. That said, like you said, nobody scores well. Like, Norma does not score well. She averages 84. Ketlen averages 80 in a win. Per losses, it's 28 and 20. Like, nobody's scoring well. The salaries aren't great at 86 and 76. You're not going to get a ton of value unless Dumont puts up like a triple-digit score. But how would she do that? She would need takedowns and ground control time. And Ketlen Vieira, while 63% control and then 90% takedown defense, it's probably not going to happen. Going to be probably a fight that takes place mostly on the feet. And I don't really want any part of that with the minus 340 GTD. So I am totally on board with you. I'm picking Norma to get her, 6th win in a row. This is a big one for Norma here. And yeah, I like Ketlen Vieira, but offensively, she just doesn't look great. And she tends to lose decisions like that. So give me Norma Dumont with not a lot of hope as far as DraftKings goes for either woman.
Donte Johnson and Sedriques Dumas, that's who you should hate for faking an injury. I know Dumas got kicked in the nuts, and we're all up in arms about Aspinall, but what is this
about Aspinall? I'm so sick of this. He gets fucking 3 knuckles deep in both his eyeballs, and people call him a quitter. Nobody's talking about Cyril Gahn not putting it. Like, he got warned. Like, this is infuriating. I can't stand it.
I'm if you haven't seen Jim Miller's post about it, you should totally go watch it. It's like, it's always the same people doing it. Whereas Dumas, I'm convinced he loses, he's getting cut, and he knows it, and he wanted another fight, wanted to show money twice, and here we are. That being said, he draws Donte Johnson minus 350. Dumas is plus 285. One of the good ones to target, because this fight ending inside the distance, is minus 700. Holy shit. It's a big one. Your DraftKings salaries for this one. Donte Johnson is 9,200. Sedriques Dumas is 7,000. Yeah, go ahead and sign me up for a bunch of this fight. It's not all in despite minus 700 because I expect all striking, and I'm not sure either guy will be terribly high volume. It likely ends in a finish. Like, I'm going to be overweight. I'm just not going to get 100% exposure. Whereas, hint, I'm going to tell you that later, that either Steve Garcia or David Onama should be in every single one of your lineups.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm shy of that. I still want to be overexposed. I do think Dumas is... I have to be careful with my bias because I do think he's a scumbag. I also don't think he's very good, but he's made some improvements. Donte Johnson, and this is where you have to just run back a little bit of Dumas because, as a reminder, Donte Johnson is making his UFC debut off a Contender Series. And Darian Abbey is Darian Abbey. Sedriques Dumas, for whatever he is, has been in the UFC longer, has been in there with guys like Nursultan Ruzaboyev, Dennis Tululin, Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. Yeah, I know he got smoked by Oleksiejczuk, but he's been in the cage with these guys. There's something to be said for experience. I'm still going to pick Donte Johnson. I'm still going to be overweight. I'm just going to make sure I have enough Dumas as well. But that being said, I do think and hope that this is the last time we see Sedriques Dumas in the UFC. Monk, how about for you?
Yeah, same. I like Johnson here. In fact, this is one I did write about, and I quoted the late great Diane Keaton from Godfather. This must all end for Sedriques Dumas. Please let it end. Let it end with him staring up at the lights because Donte Johnson just knocked his fucking head off. So yeah, I agree. Striking battle. You cannot trust Johnson because he has 6 professional fights and he's coming off the DWCS, like you said, but all 6 of his fights have ended by way of KO, TKO. Actually, all of them in round 2. Very, very interesting. Every single one, unless I put that in wrong, but I don't think so. Looks like all of them in round 2. Sedriques averages like 2 strikes a minute, not even half a takedown per 5 minutes. And he does control the control time when he's down there. But I mean, look who his wins are. Like, he beat Dennis Tululin barely. Who cares? On paper, he didn't, but he did get the win there. Same with Abu Izatar. Very close fight on paper. He gets the win. And then Cody Brundage, just a terrible fight. Other than that, he's losing to Fremd in the second round. And then Ruzaboyev and Oleksiejczuk are supposed to beat him, and they did quite handily with knockouts in the very first round. So both of his last 2 losses have been first round KOs, and that's what I'm really hoping for here. Get Donte Johnson his first round 1 KO of his career, and not the most expensive fighter on the card, 9,200, like you said. So, I mean, who would you rather have, Ardelean or the chance of Donte Johnson upside? I think I know where I want to put my chips. But like I said, only 6 professional fights compared to 13 for Dumas, who's been in the UFC for 7.5 fights, basically. But yeah, he just doesn't look good. Everybody wants this dude to lose, and hopefully we see it happen. That said, you got to play some of them in your GPP lineups, guys, because when the narratives go like this and they're fighting this guy that got, all 100% knockout finishes, and he's going to whoop this dude who everyone hates, who sucks, more times than not, well, maybe not, but in my head, more times than not, it's the lower salaried guy that ends up finding the win somehow. So get them both in your lineup, but give me Donte Johnson to get it done.
Chang Ho Lee, Timothy Cuamba. Chang Ho Lee is minus 105. Comeback on Cuamba is minus 115. Pretty much a pick'em fight as of right now. That is going to bear worth talking about in a second here. Fight goes to decision is minus 160. And really, it's the odds value that provides all the DraftKings interest in this one, because Cuamba is 8,500. Chang Ho Lee is 7,700. The line is moved towards Chang Ho Lee, and I think it's going to keep moving, because before I looked at the odds, I had Chang Ho Lee as a favorite. I think he should be favored in this fight. He's just more well-rounded. I think he's live for a finish. I think he's got more powerful striking. I think he can out-grapple Cuamba. Cuamba's okay. I just when I started breaking down the fight, I think Chang Ho Lee is a little bit better everywhere. And yeah, it's a close fight. I'm not saying Chang Ho Lee should be minus 200, but I was thinking he was going to be like in that minus 150 range. And when I opened it up and saw he was priced at 7,700 and was plus 110 at some point, I was like, that doesn't seem right. And the line is moving. I think it's going to keep moving. I think he's going to be very chalky in cash. I think that's fine. I think he's live everywhere. I'll be under on Cuamba. I'm going to eat some Chang Ho Lee chalk this week. I'm okay eating the chalk here. I think he's better. I already have a bet down on Chang Ho Lee at plus money. I got it at plus 110 the second I saw it.
Nice.
Sign me up there. It's not going to be that come fight day. So for those reasons, give me Chang Ho Lee, and Cuamba definitely going to be underweight too. He's already not going to be popular. Monk, how about for you?
Yeah, I agree. You can't back a grown man named Timmy, especially not with these offensive skills. Timmy. And then the strength of schedule is just, he's fought Balaji Oki and Lucas Almeida, but those dudes, don't have the best record. So their strength of schedule numbers for Cuamba are not great. Chang Li, I mean, 4-0 in UFC related things, but technically 1-0 in the UFC because most of those
Road to
were
UFC, which was
Road to UFC. Yeah, exactly. So which is not especially the ones he was fighting in season 2. I guess he does have 2. Yeah, Zhao Long was a technical UFC fight, so he is 2-0. But the season 2 ones, we had some pretty low experienced guys on there, so kind of got to throw those out a little bit. Cuamba does get the win over Romero, a nice little TKO that he finished in the second round, but was getting outstruck up to that point. And even though he was the one with the takedown, he had 12 seconds of control while Romero had over 2 minutes. Now, Chang Li, I mean, he's about 50% control, but he lands, like you said, a bunch of 1.09 takedowns per 5 minutes. That is across these 4 fights that I have stats for. And he's averaging 5 strikes a minute. So if we look at a little bit closer, he averaged 5 against Romeus and 5.6 per minute against Zhao Long. He had 2 takedowns in each and a bunch of control time. So I think those stats are okay for the, if we take out the Road to UFC fights. But his offense looks good. He's doubling up his opponent's striking. He's got a 67% striking accuracy, guys, and he lands 5 per minute. That is pretty crazy compared to Cuamba, who lands 3 a minute at 42%. Now, Cuamba does have, he gives up the strikes, but he has 59% striking defense, which he's going to need because Chang Li's going to throw a bunch of strikes to set up those takedowns. So, yeah, Cuamba just hasn't done anything special as of yet. Sure, he once scored almost 100. I think that was his last fight, but he also put up 47 in his, he would have put up only 47 points in that DWCS win. So not what you like to look forward for. Obviously it doesn't count because it's DWCS, but still 15 minutes, 47 potential points is not great. Where Chang Li, his low is like 94 or something like that. So yeah, I love it. Give me Lee. He's 5 years older, but I think he looks a lot more promising. I think this is a ceiling play for sure at an underdog price. Who's going to be the favorite? That's a win-win-win in my book for DraftKings. So yeah, give me Chang Li to get it done here over Cuamba, and I do like him at 7,700 for sure. Not sure how much Cuamba I'm going to get to. I'll play it slightly a little bit in GPPs because nobody's a 0, but it's not. I mean, 5-10%. If Cuamba smashes, if Cuamba smashes, it's not gonna be good for me. So yeah, let's go Chang Li.
I said the same thing about Mizuki last weekend. She smashed, and it's going to happen.
Exactly. Yep.
High variance game, boys and girls. Not for the faint of heart. Billy Elekana and Kevin Christian. Billy Elekana is minus 280. Kevin Christian is plus 240. Billy Elekana is minus 280. I immediately went, is he fighting a dead person?
Yeah, right.
Because minus 260, fight ends inside the distance. We're going to start getting to some good ones to target here. Billy Elekana is 8,900. Kevin Christian is 7,300. Look, expect to see a finish. High variance fight. Yes, Kevin Christian struggled with wrestling in his DWCS fight. Do you really think Billy Elekana is going to present that type of problem for him? I just don't. I've not been that impressed with Billy Elekana. Yeah, he went decision win against Ibo Aslan. Cool. I think Elekana is being way, way overvalued here. You go back further into the tape for Kevin Christian. I think he's a decent prospect. I think he matches up decently here. I guess I understand why Elekana would have been a small favorite. UFC experience. Christian didn't look great in Contender Series until he got that sub. But again, digging into the tape, I think this is a much closer fight. Give me Kevin Christian. I will say, I'm going to make it a point. I'm going to be field to 5-ish, 10% under on Elekana if he gets super chalk because of that ITD number. He's not going to beat me, but I will not be getting leverage on Billy Elekana. I will be getting leverage on Kevin Christian. Probably a bunch of it. He looks good. He looks good, and he will struggle against wrestling, although you think he's going to have filled that hole, worked on it a little bit. And I just wanted to make sure that if we pull up Billy Elekana, one takedown against Bogdan Guskov, and he got guillotined. So I don't think he presents that type of problem. Sign me up for the upset in Kevin Christian. Monk, who you got?
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised after I did my write-up on this one. I looked at yours right before the show, and we were both on the same side. So yeah, good surprise there. I like Kevin Christian here. I can't back Billy Elekana. I mean, Ibo Aslan looks not great, and he scored like 44 points in that win. It was an extremely close fight. Nobody did anything. Like, nobody did anything in 15 minutes. 35 strikes to 28, and Elekana attempted 3 takedowns. That is it. Absolutely terrible. He got dismantled by evil Anthony Smith in the fight before that, so we do love to see that. And Kevin Christian, for what little stats we have, we got to throw him out. I mean, he didn't do anything in his fight either until he got taken down and then subbed Mazeo, I believe his name is. And yeah, he's got 5 pro subs. So if Billy Elekana is getting a little sloppy with the takedowns, thinks he's fucking Khabib again, then he's going to get locked up again. He's going to get tapped out again. So I gotta go for Kevin Christian here. The salaries, 8,900 for Billy Elekana. I don't know how anyone can stomach that. I'm going to be probably a little lower than you on this one for Elekana. And yeah, I'll just take my chances with Kevin Christian. Why not? Hopefully we get some leverage, like you said. And that's the play, in my opinion. I don't trust Elekana with a win over shitty Ibo Aslan and got absolutely dismantled by Guskov. So I'm going to have to see a little bit more. And Elekana was a huge underdog in that Aslan fight, so more power to him. But he didn't do enough to blow anybody's socks off with his offense or anything. He lands 2.3 strikes a minute. There's not much in the way of takedowns. He's got a 0% takedown defense. I assume that's because no one has taken an attempt against him. That is correct. So yeah, can't back him at this point. And his nickname, you want guys like Billy the Killer, Billy the Killer Elekana, or so, what's Charlie the Cannibal? This dude's son of Susie. You can't back that. You cannot back that in a fight game. So give me Kevin Christian.
I gotta get your take on something here. So we're gonna total sidebar for a second. I'm not gonna mark it in the timestamp. So I think I told you this. I'm on the side. I'm managing a couple fighters. Nobody in the UFC yet. The company I work for does. Couple amateur fighters. Pro debut coming up. Super excited. I keep it separate from this stuff. But one of the guys I signed has no nickname. Okay. The other one though is, I think, now my daughter's favorite fighter. His name. I'm going to give him a shout out. Go look his Tapology page. He's a 6-0 amateur welterweight out of Louisiana. Goes by Maverick the Unicorn Becker.
Ooh,
thoughts? You were the nickname guy.
Generally I wouldn't, but I kind of do like it. The only thing that would have been better is if he went with Maverick the Miranda. Just switch around Miranda the Maverick.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, you gotta switch it around. But yeah, no, he better win. He better stay undefeated. That's all I gotta say.
God, it's kind of.
But I'm hoping for him. He's
got one more Emmy fight coming up, or that we're gonna get for him probably in January. And you know what? I'm just plugging my own shit right now. I'll give a shout out to Landon Fisher making his pro debut on the APFC card.
Oh, nice.
On Sunday, we got him a fight on APFC in Milwaukee. So I'm not sure. I thought initially his fight was going to be on Fight Pass, and now it looks like he's the first pro prelim of the night.
Okay.
But I don't know if they're going to air that or just the main card.
Well, you'll have to keep us posted in the Discord.
I definitely will.
I'm rooting for him for sure.
Although these guys will be, who are these fucking psychopaths in my DMs talking about DraftKings scoring? What the fuck is happening? All right, total sidebar. Thanks for indulging me, guys. We are going to skip Nascimento and Durden, which means we are on to the main card. Charles Radtkke, Daniel Frunza. Charles Radtkke is -160. Frunza is +140. Fight ends inside the distance is -190. Really weird pricing here that I assume is going to get straightened out from my bookie and Bet Online, and that under 2.5 rounds is -105, but you got to pay -190 for the ITD number.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these gaps just don't quite make sense. I would say, just in general, Vegas is leaning towards a finish in that one. Your DraftKings salaries. Where are we at here? Radtke's 8,700. Frunza is 7,500. And this is one, I think I had to do it once a week. And I'm always very honest. Never, don't bullshit anyone. And it's a high variance game to begin with. I'm struggling with this fight. This is one where I look at it and I go, I don't really know what's going to happen here. 'Cause, like, both of these guys, to me, are very hard to figure out. I think it's got a wide range of outcomes. If Radtkke goes out and sparks Frunza, 0% surprised. If Frunza looks like all of a sudden he did on tape previously, bounces back and sparks Radtkke, who's okay, 0% surprise. If either guy wins a decision, I'm 0% surprised. Like, I don't have a strong conviction in this fight at all. So what am I going to do with that? I know you're like, well, I'm here to listen to you break it down. I've watched these guys. I think Radtke's a little bit better, and I agree with the line. So, and Vegas would indicate they agree here. But overall, I think that ITD number is a little bit generous, and just all the wide variety of outcomes. I'm probably just going to be field weight to a little bit under, because again, we haven't gotten there yet, but we're close. I really am going to tell you to be overweight in all the last 6 fighters we're going to talk about. That's why the first 40 minutes of the show are like under, couple guys over, couple guys field. This one's field or under, because I'm going to jam them into the end, and I'll make that case here in a few minutes. So for this one, I think Radtke's a little better, but no outcome in this fight surprises me. Nothing. Monk, do you have a stronger read for the people out there, specifically the DFS Army members, which if you're not a member, make sure you go sign up. But for anybody watching this far in, if you have some insight, I think we'd all appreciate it. I know I would.
I agree with the sentiment all around. I think Radtke's a little bit better. I am picking him to win. I do like the -190. Here's the insight that anyone could see, but I'll say it out loud. Frunza lost to Reese McKee in 5 minutes, guys. That's all you need to know, right? Nobody loses to Reese McKee that's any fucking good. So that said, Charles Radtke's also not very good, but his losses are Mike Malott and Carlos freaking Praches. So yeah, I think they're a little bit better. He did what he's been supposed to do against like Gilbert Urbina. Matthew Semmelsberger was an extremely quick win. He's doing what he's supposed to do against these low-level guys, and I think that's what Daniel Frunza is. That said, he's got 8 finished wins in 9 professional wins overall. Frunza does, and Radtke is about 7 out of 10. But their losses, Radtke's been finished 3 times, twice in the UFC. He's got 5 losses total, and Frunza has been finished in all 3 of his professional losses. So the 190 ITD line might be a little bit low, because I think somebody's going to get finished here one way or the other.
Are you sure though?
No, I'm not sure, because anything could happen with Rad. I mean, he could break his fucking hand. I mean, Frunza could look like shit at the same time, and then we just get this terrible like stand-up only type battle, because we're not going to see any takedowns, I assume. I mean, Radtke's attempted 6 against, well, we don't call him Blood Diamond anymore because he doesn't have a winning record. We call him Mike Matetha. And then Diamond. Yeah, and then 2 against Carlos Praches is really it. He hasn't attempted any in his other 3 or 4 fights. So yeah, I've got to go with Radtke, hopefully by finish. That said, his salary $8,700. It's serviceable. It's not terrible, especially when we're getting that kind of ITD type generosity. And in my opinion, like I just said, it should be a little bit more than that. So I'll have both guys, but I'll have way less Frunza. I won't have much Well, that's not true. I'll have less than Radtke, but 75 is a bit much. We'll just see what I can get to. I don't know about ownership. 10 to 20, maybe more, probably more, I guess. I don't know, man. Frunza is a tough one, tough egg to crack here. That Reese McKee fight, he just didn't look good. He got, dismantled. He did land the same amount of strikes, but he did not take the damage the same as Reese McKee did. So give me Charles Radtke. Yeah, this is a good one to target for sure. Get both sides. You can't trust Radtke, can't trust Frunza, so just play both sides and get a little bit, mix them up with the other guys that you actually do think are going to win, that you think have a better chance than we think here, because it should be a 75 to 25% chance for Radtke, in my opinion. But when I look at it, it's more like 50-50 or 55-45, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think we agree there. Sorry. Isaac Dulgarian and Yadier DelValle. DelValle? I don't care. Dulgarian is minus 275-ish. Come back on DelValle is around plus 200. I should care, by the way, but I just am not 100% sure. So I'm going to play it off. Dulgarian the fight is minus 200 to end inside the distance. So really, the last 4 fights are phenomenal. They really, now we're going to start getting to, I want a ton of all of these guys. In this particular fight, though, this is probably the one, I have as strong lean in this one as I do in the main event. You got to love Dulgarian. He also is a super friendly DFS style. He's going to want to grapple, likes to wrestle, rinse and repeat takedown, is active on top, can look for finishes. I think Yadier DelValle is limited to, he's going to need to land a big strike, which I guess he could do. He's got big power, and Dulgarian is a little bit hittable and has shown, he can be got out on occasion. But I think the pace, pressure, and wrestling of Dulgarian is going to be too much here. I think he's priced up for a reason. Love the matchup, love the spot, like him in all formats. Give me the favorite in Isaac Dulgarian. Monk, how about for you?
Yeah, you summed it up, man, perfectly. I think he, the rinse and repeat takedown style, the control time, he does all that work on top, just like you said. Love him for DraftKings this week. And I forget what you said, his price, 9,100. It's not terrible. I mean, it's Alice Ardelean, remember, is 9,300. You can save $200 by playing Isaac Dulgarian here. And Yadier DelValle he's looked good, but he fought Connor Matthews. Who cares? And in the DWCS, he fought Montero, was taken down, was controlled a little bit, had 60 strikes landed on him, but he did exactly what he was supposed to do, especially at a plus 120 dog there. He, did everything better than Antonio Montero did in that one. So, but Dulgarian's no Antonio Montero, I'm pretty sure. He's landing almost 2 takedowns per 5 minutes. Now, a lot of that did come from that Christian Rodriguez fight, which was on, split decision that he lost. On paper, he definitely didn't lose it. It was a very wide margin. Yeah, he got outstruck, but 7 of 16 takedowns in 9.5 minutes of control is pretty fucking good. So that's what we're looking for here. Rinse and repeat type takedowns. I'm not saying he's on Merab's caliber or anything as far as the wrestling goes, but at least in the first 2 rounds, he definitely could be close. Round 3, in the round 3 that he had, he didn't do much of anything. It was 1 strike a minute. So 5 strikes, no takedowns, and not much of control time. So he's got to get, hopefully we bank points in rounds 1 and 2, and hopefully it doesn't even get to round 3 and we get a finish there. But yeah, I generally like Dulgarian. I mean, it was a bit of a letdown last time, right? He fought Brendan Murat. He was a minus 2,300 favorite, and he got a second round submission in which he didn't score a ton of points. I'm pretty sure he didn't.
But he controlled. I mean, he
did. He scored 125, but he was 9,900 that week.
I mean, that's just a matter. He did what he was supposed to. He just didn't score quite enough. Like, I mean, come on.
I mean, but 125, like, dude, I mean, he was 9,900. I don't think we've seen. That's the highest salary we've ever seen. Only I think 1 or 2 other people have had that. So we're way off of that this week. 9,100. I think there's potential to score pretty well. And yeah, if he can get Yadier down, then we're gonna love that, especially early. So I agree with you completely. Give me Isaac Dulgarian. Load him up in your lineups this week.
I'm with you, man. Jeremiah Wells and Themba Gorimbo. Jeremiah Wells is plus 110. Themba is minus 130. I think we got an overreaction here to Themba's loss, but okay, we'll talk about that in a second. Minus 155. Fight ends inside the distance for this one. Your DraftKings salaries. Not only are the 3 fights at the end of this night high ITD fights, they are the 3 mid-range fights.
Yeah.
Which means they save you a ton of salary. Themba is 8,400. Jeremiah Wells is 7,800. Themba's going to win a lot of fights as long as he doesn't throw himself into front chokes looking for the wrestling. And guess what he did last time out against Vicente Luque? He threw himself into a front choke. He's going to have to learn, right? Jeremiah Wells, yes, he's got 80% takedown defense. But 80% takedown defense, I went to look at his record and go, well, what wrestlers has he really faced? Well, Court McGee. Well, he finished Court McGee in 90 seconds. That really doesn't apply too much. Carlson Harris shot 1 takedown. Jeremiah Wells, he's decent. Split position against Max Griffin, not a lot of volume. Themba's going to push the pace and get takedowns in this one. I will say the reason why I like both sides, because it's mid-range and salary, is that Themba's there'll probably be an opportunity, unless Themba's made rapid improvements, which it's a hard thing to handicap. Unless he's done that, I think that Wells will have a chance to land a knee as Themba comes in or get a front choke. I think the scoring potential is there on both sides. The way Themba fights, I have a really hard time seeing how this fight doesn't end up on the optimal. I want to be overweight to both guys, but I lean Themba because of that volume and the willingness to look for the takedown, and I think he can get it here. Monk, how about for you?
Yeah, I haven't written about this one yet, so I haven't picked. I think I agree, but I think this is pretty close to a 50-50 fight. It's interesting. Both guys defensively are relatively sound. Like Garimbo has allowed barely over 1 strike a minute in 6 fights. I don't know if he had a DWCS fight. No, so 6 fights. And Wells has allowed 1.3. Wells's chin is the issue here for sure. Both of them land over 1 takedown per 5 minutes. Both of them control well over the majority of the control time. It's lining up to be a pretty decent matchup here. And Wells, you said front chokes. Wells has 4 submission wins in his professional career, just 1 in the UFC. So we definitely have to look out for that. But both guys, I mean, Wells starts a bit slow. Both guys, their second round is by far their best round, which could be very, very interesting. So Wells lands more takedowns in the first and third, but Garimbo just smashes the numbers in the second round. It's 2.71 takedowns on average and 3 minutes of control paired with 4 significant strikes per minute. So that second round could be very, very interesting. Now, Wells could potentially be, well, I mean, I know he got finished, but hear me out, could be undefeated in the UFC. Carlston Harris found that submission, but he was getting wrecked. He was getting absolutely wrecked that entire fight. He landed 5 strikes in 12 minutes. He was taken down 3 times and controlled for almost 10 minutes by Jeremiah Wells. Max Griffin probably lost that fight just barely on paper. It was a very close split decision. But once again, the control time match, they both had a takedown and Wells just barely outstruck him. So I don't mind that one. Not egregious, not a robbery by any means. And like you said, Garimbo threw himself into a fucking anaconda or whatever it was against Luque, you know, his best submission, that Darson, the anaconda. So not what you're looking for there. I think this is pretty close to a 50-50 fight. Both guys score pretty well when they win, 103 and 119 for Garimbo on average. Both of them have very high floors. The least amount of points Wells has scored in a win is 96. And we get some good salaries here. So I agree. Get both of these guys in your lineups. I may end up, I don't know, man. I may end up picking Wells, but honestly, it's a 50-50 fight. Just get them both in your, yeah, for the show. Yeah, I'll pick Wells straight up, but I would not be surprised if he lost. And I wouldn't be surprised if he won. You know, it really could go either way in my head. So, yeah, they're this is a good matchup. They're matched up very well on paper. We just gotta watch out for the chin of Jeremiah Wells. He has, well, that might have been just the Semmelsberger fight, I guess, that's messing that stat up. But he got knocked down twice in that fight, and actually still won it. So careful of that. Hopefully nobody throws himself into submissions, and we see a good fight here. They're both pretty defensively sound for the most part. But I'll just, for fun of the show, I'll pick Wells and yeah, roster them both for sure.
I hope somebody throws himself into a submission in the first 30 seconds so it breaks the slate because I'll be overweight.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
I'm okay with it. Waldo Cortes-Acosta and Ante Delia. Yes, we see Ante Delia again. Quick turnaround for him. He's the favorite at minus 135. Waldo Cortes-Acosta is plus 115. Fight ends inside the distance, minus 130. They are heavyweights, though, and they are mid-range because it is a mid-range fight. WCA, Cortes-Acosta is 8,200. Delia is 8,000. I think this fight go a little bit overlooked. I'm interested in the DFS Army ownership projections. Again, if you're not at DFS Army, link in the description. Make sure you sign up there because I love the ownership projections. Provide great value. Look, I have been in the past on the Waldo Cortes-Acosta bandwagon a little bit. I really didn't like his performance against Sergey Pavlovich. I know he lost, but just the volume is just not there, man. His takedown defense is good. He can stop those, get up. He outstruck Sergey Spivak. You know, he beat the guys. This Pavlovich loss was bugging me in the way that the volume never went up against a striker, just kind of the same old thing. It didn't look super comfortable. Ante Delia coming over from PFL. I know I picked against him. I picked Tybura. Ante Delia looked fucking good, man. And I know it was a short fight, but he looked crisp. He's got power. Seems to obviously translates into the UFC. I kind of take back some of the things I said about Ante Delia, and it's weird in the last few fights I've been picking WCA. I've been picking against Ante Delia, and I think I'm flipping from what I've seen. Give me Delia. And I also think that it's more likely if Delia wins, he probably has knocked out Cortes-Acosta or he's done something violent. WCA could do another one of these 60 strike boring decisions again. Would not. So I want to be overweight to this fight, but this is not all in. I am pretty much all in on the Garimbo fight we just talked about. And if I just, at those salaries, I'm going to be over on Dulgarian, and the main event I'm all in on. This one I'm overweight too, but not all in because there's some room in my mind in Waldo Cortes-Acosta winning, but not ending up optimal. For the sake of the pick, though, I do have to lean towards Ante Delia just based on each of their last fights and how they've looked. I know, obviously, that's not always the indicator, but I cannot pick Cortes-Acosta on his last performance and then against Delia based on his. Just give me Ante Delia. Monk, who you got?
Yeah, same. I'm not a Waldo Cortes-Acosta hater. I wouldn't say that because, you know, guy hasn't done anything for anybody to really hate on him, but I just don't like his fighting style for the most part. I mean, when you're fighting Jared Vendera and Chase Sherman, you're going to decision with those guys. Not a great look. Robelis to Spain is the big one that was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Not much was the answer to that one. I mean, he's knocked out Ryan Spann, which is what happens to Ryan Spann. I was going to say Tybura is probably the best fighter that either of them have won against, but Sergey Spivak could be in that argument as well. So that was a decent win from Cortes-Acosta, probably his best one in my opinion. Did allow 2 of 6 takedowns, some control time, but got, you know, stood up and was able to keep Sergey off him. Actually, was that the fight that everybody called a robbery? We don't have to get into it. I don't remember exactly. No. Could be. But yeah, I agree. I think I picked Tybura in that one. I was like, I'm sick of these PFL guys. Everybody, you know, they suck, blah, blah, blah. Not this guy, I don't think. I think he's pretty decent. The only issue is 35 years old, making his UFC debut.
At heavyweight, it barely matters, though.
That is true. That is true. Look at Andrei Arlovsky and a bunch of guys. They all fight past 40 years old. But I really we didn't see much at Adelia, only 2 minutes worth, but we saw a lot in those 2 minutes that I liked. You hear what, you know, the most hated guy in the UFC now for some reason, Tom Aspinall, says about him. And why would I not believe that? I mean, he's looked pretty good here. Looked pretty good in the PFL too. Didn't he win a fucking $1 million? Maybe twice. I don't remember. I think he did it at least once. But yeah, I got to go with Delia here. I don't like the fighting style of Cortes-Acosta. I think it is going to be, if he wins what you said, a 60 freaking strike decision where nothing happens and he scores another 50 points in a win. So we don't want that. Also, I don't know if you said it. This line is flipped. Cortes-Acosta is 8,200, I believe, is what you said, which makes Delia the favorite at an underdog salary. So we love to see that little bit of odds value there in the mid-range fight. So we will take it. Give me Delia. I hope we see a finish here, man. That's going to be difficult. Cortes-Acosta never been finished, and he looks pretty solid on the feet. Technically sound, just doesn't do a bunch most of the time. So give me Delia. I want to see this dude finish Waldo Cortes-Acosta. I want a reason to get excited about the mid-range heavyweight division again. Even if it's a 35-year-old guy, that's fine. Give me something to look forward to, please, because the Thomas Petersons of the world and the fucking Lucas Breshkis, they're not quite doing it for me, man.
You know who should be doing it for you? The chocolate Peppa Pig.
That was hilarious. That was Walter Walker. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he definitely does.
Fortunately, he's the most entertaining part of the UFC heavyweight division, and he broke his fucking. You know that one leg kick? Did you see that? Louis Sutherland broke his leg. Walter Walker's got a broken leg from that one leg kick. Is going to be out for a little while rehabbing it.
Oh my God. I didn't hear that.
You know which kick I was talking about. I mean, Louis
I
caught
probably
him
do
once
now
good.
Thinking back on it. I didn't hear that.
Yep, got a fracture. So
wow.
Awesome. 4
heel hooks in a row. Can you believe it?
I mean, I can, but
dude, his heel hook was plus 150 this week. It was insane.
So stupid. All right, let's get to the main event, boys and girls. Steve Garcia and David Onama. Steve Garcia is the favorite at minus 135-ish. Come back on Onama around plus 110 to plus 115. Your DraftKings salaries, Garcia is 8,300. Onama 7,900. It is the mid-range fight. Fight ends inside the distance. Minus 700. 50-50 to end under 1.5 rounds. Two guys who throw volume, they throw hands. Garcia lands at over 5 strikes a minute. Onama also over 5 strikes a minute. Surprisingly to me, Steve Garcia's got better defense than David Onama, because I always feel like Garcia gets hit more.
Yeah.
But I think it's being dropped against Shaila and Nuremberg, I think, kind of messed with my head a little bit, and dropped twice against Charlie Ontiveros. Like, it's crazy looking at this. I mean, he's gone on a run, though. He's knocked down twice against Charlie Ontiveros, loses to Mahachete, gets knocked down twice against him. Then knocks down Chase Hooper 3 times, gets a win. Gets a win against Shaila Nuremberg, where he's knocked down. Then proceeds to finish Melquizael-Costa, Sungwoo Choi, Kyle Nelson, and then a decision win against Calvin Kattar, where he looked real good. These guys are going to go and throw down. David Onama, on the other hand, I'm sorry, the win over Giga, I've always been a Giga hater. And look, he got takedowns, did what he was supposed to do. Great. Good win over Romero, Pierce, his loss to Landwehr, where he just gassed out. And that's the fight that made Nate Landwehr. This is a fun fight. These guys typically don't have boring fights unless they're in there with somebody like Calvin Kattar or Giga Chikadze. That's on those guys. These guys together, I think, are going to be fireworks. Hence the lines we are looking at. Like, anything could happen in this one. I'm going to lean towards Steve Garcia in the run he's been on. Like, I think his power translates a little more, and I know he's more up for the dogfight. When things get a little bit crazy and in a phone booth, I'm not as confident in David Onama. That being said, they're 4-ounce gloves. Garcia's shown he's going to get hit as can be dropped. I'm kind of basing my lean on the fact that Garcia can get hurt and come back, whereas Onama can't. But I've never seen Nasrat Hakparas really hurt in a fight before, and he's still waking up. That was one of the crazy, like, it's MMA. These are violent shots with high stakes. Yes, Garcia's been tough, and that's kind of the tiebreaker in this fight for me. I admit it, but anything can happen here. This is all in. We're expecting under 1.5 rounds. Even if we're wrong and they end up being a little more cagey or close, or we got 5 rounds and mid-range salaries. It can happen, but it feels unlikely this doesn't end up optimal. I'm going to lean Steve Garcia. If you want to say, hey, I like Onama, sure. I'm going to say just get overweight on both guys, and whatever you do, I don't think is wrong. But for my pick, I'm going Steve Garcia. Monk, how about for you?
Man, hate to do it, but I completely agree. Again, I mean, these guys between them have like 9 to 10 around there knockdowns in the UFC. That's absolutely insane. Garcia's knocked down almost everyone that he's won against on this 6-fight run. He didn't knock down Nelson, theoretically, or on paper, I should say, but he did finish him KO TKO. And it is interesting. He has been knocked down, like you said, twice Ontiveros, twice Mahachete, once Nerdembeki. He won 2 of those fights. That is crazy to see. That's pretty rare. I mean, one of them, okay, but 2 of the 3 is nuts. He scores tremendously well, 106.5 when he wins. He put up 132 against Chase Hooper. Onama's the same thing, almost 100 points when he wins. His floor is better than Garcia. The lowest he scored is 80 in a win. He put up 114 once. Love the mid-range salaries. I just completely agree here. I think Steve Garcia is just a little bit better. He probably hits a little bit harder. And yeah, maybe people are like, oh, he didn't do shit in the Calvin Kattar fight. Well, it was 85 strikes in 15 minutes. He did land a knockdown, and it's Calvin Kattar. And in Steve Garcia's defense, it's Calvin Kattar. This is the biggest name he's fought up to this point. Like, yeah, everybody knows Chase Hooper, but he's not as good of, most people back then at the time of the Hooper fight, you would not pick Chase Hooper to beat Calvin Kattar back in 2022. So he's probably, he wanted to get that win, secure the win. He did everything he was supposed to. Calvin Kattar, yeah, he might be on his downslide, but he's no fucking scrub, not at all. I mean, maybe Holloway wrecked wrecked him forever, who knows, but Steve Garcia did exactly what he was supposed to do. He won every minute of that fight and looked really good doing it. The Kyle Nelson win is aging tremendously well. Melky-Costa win, the Chase Hooper win will continue to age well. He's been looking good, man, and I don't see how one of these guys, I don't see how we don't see at least one knockdown in this fight, even if it doesn't lead to a finish. we might see multiple. And that's when you start getting up there for DraftKings points. You land with the volume that these guys do, well over 5 strikes a minute. You're going to see the DraftKings points there as well. The big difference here is Onama gets hit with almost as many strikes as he lands, 5.2 to 4.7. Garcia lands 5.1, absorbs 2.1. So yeah, his chin has been suspect in the past, but again, he won those 2 fights. They land about the same amount of takedowns, which is not many. Both of them get out controlled, but they're not grapplers. Like, this is going to be a very, very good matchup. One in which I think Steve Garcia has the tools to get it done. So I love the 5 rounds of pure high volume striking. Love the knockdown potential. Love the finish potential as well. So I'll be playing both of these guys because David Onama has never been finished. Doesn't mean it can't happen this time, but we've seen Garcia be I don't want to say chinny, but we've seen him get knocked down. Onama has landed with power. So it could go either way if we get into the thick of it, but I'm firmly on the Garcia side. I'm loading this fight up in GPPs. I'm probably playing Steve Garcia in all formats at 8,300. I just love what I'm seeing here. I think this dude's on a run, and I think a lot more people are going to know exactly who Steve Garcia is in this next 1, 2, 3 fights. If he gets another 2 in a row, people aren't going to be saying, "Oh, Steve Garcia in the main event. What is this bullshit?" They're going to be saying, "Oh shit, Steve Garcia is in the main event. I cannot miss this." So this is the first one on that road to that happening. He's not a kid to me, maybe, but he's only 33 years old. And he's got a lot of work left to do, and he looks like he's ready to do it. So yeah, give me Steve Garcia here in what should be a good fight, what should be a high scoring fight as well.
Garcia Hooper 2 at some point. Anyone?
Oh, I don't know if Hooper's got to win a couple. He's got to catch up.
Yeah, he's looking good though too. I mean, I know recently, but overall, they're both going to have some good careers.
I agree.
Kill shots. Don't go anywhere. We got to do the namesake of the show with Kill Shot. If you do not know, it is an under-owned play to help you win a DraftKings tournament. No chalk, no main event. That means no Chang Ho Lee because that's super chalk. Look, I think there's 2. I think it's clear.
Yep.
Bunk,
yep.
You can take either one. We're just gonna share these 2 this week.
Yeah.
So you can talk about either one you want. Take it away.
Well, I won't pick the guy I picked against on the show. I'll leave that one for you. I'll go Kevin Christian against Billy Elekana here for the reasons we said. We don't trust Elekana. We haven't seen a ton of Christian, but we are sure ready to. And I'd like to see, I don't trust a guy that barely beat Ibo Aslan and just doesn't look good overall in Elekana. So let's go Kevin Christian, pay off that 7,300.
I mean, we are talking about Phil Rowe as number 2, right?
Yes. Yeah, abs. That's who I was talking about.
The way you said it, I was like, wait, he's not going to try and tell me on
Co. Yeah, so I wanted to leave
Sedriques Dumas. Yeah. Look, Phil Rowe, Co, decent prospect. I think people continually doubt Phil Rowe. We cashed him as an underdog last time. Yes, he made us sweat and wait until round 3. Going to continue to play him as a dog and against a almost Neil Magny-esque here in that I don't know enough about Co quite yet. I will say that to me, Kevin Christian is clearly the number 1 pick. And then I'll go Phil Rowe and even then mix in a little bit of Sedriques Dumas and then just the mid-range and the chalk Chang Ho Lee and all that stuff. So yeah. Phil Rowe in a spot against an unproven commodity. That's what we got for UFC Fight Night Garcia versus Onama. One more time, smash the like button, share with your friends, join up at DFS Army. For Monk, I'm Sniper. Have a good week, and we'll catch you next time.